Hi, this is Philip Juregi with Supreme Thoughts. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to join me today. We have a special announcement about our upcoming National Consecration of our Courts gathering in Washington, D.C. at the Museum of the Bible on October 5th. That's the first day of the Supreme Court's new term. They begin every year on the first Monday of October, and they run through the year into, well, this year it'll be from 2026 into 2027, back to the first Monday of October in 2027. So we gather to pray for our court system, and we're seeing a lot of progress, a ton of fruit in the courts. I like to say that they're like the prodigal son who's on his way home. They haven't gotten there yet. They're not perfect. We still sometimes are disappointed with some of their rulings, but gosh, they are not where they were 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago. This is a massive answer to prayer, what we're seeing. And don't let the occasional disappointment at the court cause you to get discouraged and quit praying for them. It's exactly what the enemy would like. And we can admit that there are times when they mess up, but we can still be very excited, kind of pulling back a little bit, having a bigger perspective on what's happening. So when we gather the first Monday of October, that'll be our prayer. Father, consecrate this Supreme Court and our federal courts. It's going to be a powerful gathering. And we're at the Museum of the Bible, which is a big step this year to be there. I think it's very exciting. And I'm excited because we have a speaker like we've never had before, and that is a United States Court of Appeals judge who will be there. The only where to go up from there would be for a Supreme Court justice, and perhaps we'll have one of those in the years to come, if that's what the Lord would like. But this is the Honorable James Ho, who is a judge on the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. You may have heard that name before, Jim Ho or James Ho. He's very well known. And matter of fact, we've been researching different Supreme Court prospects for 4 years to know those that are being talked about. And we've been incredibly impressed with Judge Ho. We've looked at his record. We've researched it. We have well over 100 data points. This isn't somebody that we invited lightly to come to this gathering. But Judge Ho has certainly distinguished himself and may well be on the U.S. Supreme Court in the future. We'll see. But let me tell you a little bit about him. First of all, we're just honored that we invited him, and he said yes. Isn't that wonderful? He said yes, he would love to be here and to come to pray for the U.S. Supreme Court, to pray for the federal courts, and to speak about that topic. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know that he'll pray. Certainly Dutch Sheets will cover that. He's our main keynote speaker for the evening, but Judge Ho will speak with us for about 20 minutes about the courts. And by the way, guys, he wrote recently something that appeared in a law review article. It was co-authored by Judge James Ho and another federal court judge, Matthew Kaczmarek from Texas. The title of that law review is, "What Does It Mean to Be a Christian on the Bench?" I'm reading it now, and it's an excellent piece. If you want to find that, again, the title, "What Does It Mean to Be a Christian on the Bench?" That's by Judge Ho and Matthew Kaczmarek. That'll tell you a whole lot about James Ho. I want to tell you just a couple other quick points. He was a law clerk for Justice Clarence Thomas. For me, it's always a tie about who's my favorite Supreme Court justice between Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito. You know, it's like loving my two boys. I love them both the same, but Clarence Thomas is incredible. And James Ho clerked for him back in 2005 to 2006 on the U.S. Supreme Court, which is a real honor. You don't get a Supreme Court clerkship, especially with Justice Thomas, without having an incredible record. He's an originalist, as you might imagine. He's also a Christian, which we're very excited about. There's a whole lot of other research that you can look up that we've done on James Ho and on his record. But if you would, come and join us on October 5th at the Museum of the Bible for this dinner where we'll be consecrating the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a big deal. If we're consecrating the federal courts, there's a certain, we have stewardship that we can exercise as citizens, as voters, as Christians here in the United States that people in other nations and kingdoms don't have, frankly, but we do. So we're going to exercise every bit of the authority that we have as citizens to pray for and consecrate the court. But it's something else too when we have a guest speaker like James Ho, who is a sitting judge on the federal bench, who occupies that seat. For him to accept our invitation to come to this consecration dinner for our federal courts, where we're praying for the courts, is a big deal. And we're excited about it. And again, we're very thankful to Judge Ho. So if this video makes it around to Judge Ho, thank you, Your Honor. We're honored that you're with us. And so if you guys would join us, let me give you some quick details on the consecration dinner. We've priced it, guys, all of the consecration events at the Museum of the Bible below cost. So in other words, when you buy a ticket, we're paying a little bit more than the ticket price so that we can just be at the event and pay for the meals and the facilities and all of that. But the day prayer gathering is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday, October 5th. You can just come to that. Or you can come also to the evening dinner from 6:45 to 9. That's where Judge Ho will be speaking. He'll be our first keynote. Our second keynote is Dutch Sheets, who I know you guys love. And Dutch will be bringing a great message this year. He'll have a bit more time to unpack what the Lord has been showing him about the Supreme Court and our nation. So that dinner again is 6:45 to 9. You can go to our website. If you go to JAG and then the letter F, which stands for Foundation, jagf.org, you'll see there on the front page, there's an icon that you can click on with a beautiful image of the Museum of the Bible. Click on that and it gives you all the details. You can buy your tickets. I do want to just say space is limited. And the same is true also with the discounted hotel room block that we were able to get. And so you do want to go ahead and register and join us there. And be praying too for the glory of God to be there with us. And we've been praying about that and really seeking God that he would visit this gathering with his glory, and that also he would visit the federal judiciary, all of our federal courts, with his glory. That's our prayer. So I hope you guys can be with us. If you would sign up, and we'll see you October 5th. Thanks a ton.